Yes, sir. What's up? 2 minutes out. Perfect. Thank you. 1 minute out. Are you going to count me down, Al? Al, are you going to count me down? Okay. When the video starts, okay, perfect, Al. Thank you.
Yeah, so
Can you hear me? It's like cutting in and out of mine, kind of.
yeah, I did for a second, but now I can.
Okay. Yeah, see? We thank you for joining us over the NCAA tournament as the Reno 1868 FC take on the Swope Park Rangers. I'm Matt Kearns alongside Colin Tabor. Colin, we have two of the best teams from the Western Conference a year ago. What do you expect? What's your outlook for this game and for the season for both these good teams?
Yeah, on one side we have Swope Park Rangers, the 2017 and 2016 Western Conference champions, of course, losing both times in the national championship. And the other end, we have Reno 1868 in their second season in the USL. First season exceeded all expectations, 75 goals scored, broke USL goal scoring records, and won the hearts of many. So this should be an interesting game.
Well, we have a chilly evening, temperature in the mid-30s with snow falling, however not sticking for the moment. We'll take a quick break and come back for more. Back here at Greater Nevada Field, Matt Kearns, Colin Tabor. We have first kick in just about 4 minutes, but until then, let's take a look at the starting lineup for this game. Back here at Greater Nevada Field, Matt Kearns, Colin Tabor. We have some yucky field conditions, however, it looks pretty clear for now at least. Maybe halfway through the game we'll be saying otherwise, but the field crew here has done a great job getting this field ready.
Yeah, they definitely have. I mean, there's always their work cut out for them. The ground staff here at Greater Nevada Field with the field conversions and dealing with the snow and other dicey weather here in Reno, but they always do a terrific job.
Looks like we're getting ready for the national anthem, so we will send it back to a quick break and get ready for the action when we return.
Able to please and remove your caps for national anthem performed by Athena McIntyre.
Dawn's early light, what so proud we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, who but stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. All the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Go 1868!
Back here in the booth at Greater Nevada Field, Matt Kearns, Colin Tabor, getting ready for a great opening day, although the weather isn't great, but we have a great matchup on hand. And let's get to the roster and the starting lineup, starting with the Swope Park Rangers.
Yeah, Swope Park Rangers are going to start in their traditional 4-3-3 system. Like Ian Russell said, they're a possession-heavy team. They're going to try to play the ball out of the back. Keys for me, see Colton Storm getting up and down that right side, along with Mateus Silva, who Reno fans will know from his time last year with Reno 1868. Another big one for me is Diego Rubio, a player who spent time with the Chilean national team. He'll be someone, a clever striker, trying to get on the end of chances and put them away.
Getting to the Reno 1868 FC, let's take a look at their starting lineup and some of their key players that are headlined.
Yeah, Reno 1868 will line up in the 4-4-2 diamond that they've played all season. A big name for Reno fans is Chris Wheaton, the 2017 Rookie of the Year, will line up in the number 10 spot where he was outstanding last year, and he'll look to continue with that after signing on the offseason with San Jose Earthquakes. Another big player to look at is Antoine Opino. Ian Russell was so full of praise for his season last year. They named him the co-MVP for the team alongside Dane Kelly, who, of course, left Reno, is now with DC United.
The 1868 FC swept the Swope Park Rangers a year ago, and they'll look to get off to a good start, trying to start off 1-0. As we said, it's a cold afternoon. For now, at least having watched field warm-ups, it looked okay. Didn't seem to be that big of an issue, footing that is, as the Swope Park Rangers take the field. But come game time, when the field starts to get kicked up and grass starts to go everywhere, that could be a different story.
Yeah, this will be an interesting first game for Paulo Nagamura, the assistant coach last year for Swope Park Rangers, taking the helm this year, along of his counterpart Ian Russell, who, of course, was in the short list for Manager of the Year last year. Outstanding first season with Reno 1868. Really couldn't have gone better, except maybe they'll hope to do a better job in the playoffs this year. They'll be looking to build off really what we can say over and over again was a fantastic year.
Getting ready for kickoff here. Both teams have taken the field, sorting positions as the Swope Park Rangers huddle up and prepare for this opening half of soccer at Greater Nevada Field. You can see the infield on the side getting some attention too, as the Reno Aces, the minor league affiliate of the Arizona Diamondbacks, also call Greater Nevada Field home. Both teams head to their positions as we await opening kickoff on opening day here at Greater Nevada Field.
Looks like Reno 1868 will start with the ball today. They're going to want to attack early, try and get an early goal and set the standard. This is how our season's going to go. They're going to want to make sure that there is no sophomore slump. They're going to want to score goals early and score goals often. And with Antoine Opino and Brian Brown leading the line, along with Chris Wheaton behind them, I think they can certainly make a case to do that.
You know, we talked a little bit earlier about the loss of Dane Kelly. Just how big do you think that is for this 1868 team?
Well, I think Dane Kelly is a fantastic striker who will do well in the MLS level, at least I hope, for his sake. I think a lot of what made Reno tick was the system, and Dane Kelly was a benefit of the system, a system that gets a lot of players forward, gets a lot of quick movements, and a lot of people goal-scoring opportunities. I think Brian Brown's going to want to make a case that he can fill in Dane Kelly's shoes. I mean, a guy who only had 3 goals really last year, but he really is an outstanding player, great at holding the ball up, and is always there for the big occasions.
Here we go with the 1868 taking possession of the ball, trying to get it into enemy territory.
And that was great relentless pressure from Brian Brown there. Really bullied Graham Smith off the ball and tried to get a ball in, but Amir Jidic was there to read it, and before it got into Chris Wheaton's feet. But a great start there for Reno 1868.
Jordan Morrell sends it over to Griffiths, and Morrell
fantastic run there from Christian Tieryoung, but it looks like he timed it a little too early there, and he was caught marginally offside there.
Looked like he got it over to Hopino, but like you said, the offside call. As we will have a flip of possession here, and Zendejas will get us started again. Nice steal there by Brent Richards, I believe.
We can see right away, though, how Reno want to play. They want to win the ball and then try to find those runs from guys like Opino, Brown, and Christian Tieryoung early. They're going to look to find them early before Swope Park Rangers can get into their defensive shape, because Swope Park Rangers is a team that likes to expand the field. They like to make it wide. They like to make it deep. So if you win the ball and transition quickly, you can catch them off guard.
And here the Rangers pick up there by Chris Wheaton, a player that you and I talked about before. Talk about the season he had a year ago.
Yeah, Chris Wheaton really was outstanding last season. Won 2017 Rookie of the Year, earned a call-up with the MLS affiliate San Jose Earthquakes. He's going to have a tough time breaking into that San Jose Earthquakes team. Really a team that's deeper than ever before, with guys like Vaco in front of him and Tommy Thompson and Magnus Eriksson. He's going to have trouble breaking in, so Reno fans will hope he gets some more loans here with Reno, because the fans here at Greater Nevada Field love him. Really such a dynamic player that can take people on, that can make smart decisions. Great job assisting. won the assist leader last year with 12. He's going to look to break early and find Openo.
As Brenton Griffiths heads this one out of bounds, it'll be back with the Rangers. They'll have a throw in here.
And Mateus Silva will be taking in this throw-in. Like we said, Reno fans will know his name well. We all remember the incident last summer where this will be gobbled up by JT Marcinowski. But like I was saying, the incident last summer, 4th of July, Mateus Silva was swimming in Lake Tahoe and actually drowned and had to be resuscitated by brave just passerby. So I mean, it's really an endearing story of the Reno locals who saved him, and he'll always remember this city fondly, I think. And I think the city will remember him fondly as well. It's great to see him out here.
Here's Zendejas. He's going to kick this one downfield. So far, the Rangers doing a good job on offense, it seems like, distributing the ball.
Yeah, they're a team that they like to move the ball around. The midfield three of Kuzain, Felipe Hernandez, and Saravia are all good on the ball. They're tidy players. They can pick out the right passes, and they can keep and retain possession if need be.
There's Jordan Morrell sent it over to Griffiths, outside over to Richards, and Richards trying to get it to Openo, but it's going to be, well, back in the feet of the 1868. Be sent back over to Griffiths. Gets it back over to Kiffy on the left side. And Kiffy trying to get it over to Openo on the left wing. And Zendejas is going to step in there and send it back over to Colton Storm. Haven't seen any slippage yet, but knock on wood. Doesn't seem like we have had any big divots so far either, as Kiffy takes this on the left. And that out of bounds. No, he saves it. And this will be back in Ranger possession as Amir Jidic back over to Zendejas. And you like what Zendejas brings to the table for the Rangers. Good quality goal, you were saying earlier.
Yeah, he's a good goalkeeper who's also really good with his feet, which is important for a possession-oriented team. If they're ever in trouble, they can find him with the back pass, and he'll know what to do with it rather than just hoofing it upfield, which is always important, like I said, for a team that values possession.
And there's a nice play there by Brent Richards. And that's a little bit of a push and a shove. Looks like that was on Mateus Silva, but they will retain possession.
Yeah, it looks
what happened there?
It looks like Graham Smith had a little bit of a tussle with Brian Brown. I thought the linesman tried to wave a foul there, but I agree with the head referee that I don't think that was a foul. It was shoulder to shoulder, and Swope Park Rangers were able to knock out for a goal kick and then counter here through Saravia.
Oh, and Chris Wheaton's going to hit the deck. Do we have our first call of the game?
Yeah, and it came from a poor pass there from Mateus Silva. Just gifted possession to Chris Wheaton, and that was a smart foul there from, I believe it was Felipe Hernandez to stop the counterattack. Odd not to see a yellow card there. You can see with a professional foul like that where you stop play, usually warrants a yellow card, but the referee decides it's too early in the game for that kind of decision.
And Jordan Morrell gets it back over to Griffiths. Griffiths sending it over to the right wing to Openo. Openo working one-on-one from the right, tries to get it over to Brown, but deflected, and Zendejas will take over.
Oh, little flick from Seth Kasipli there, tried to find Brian Brown, but Zendejas read it well and was ready for it.
And here's Kiffy. Kiffy going to get it inside to Morrell, and Morrell's going to get it to Wheaton.
James Kiffy is someone who I liked a lot with Sacramento Republic last year. He played, I think, every single minute for them. Recorded
Wow.
6 assists from the left back position. I think he fits in perfectly with this Reno 1868 team because the way the diamond works, the midfield diamond, you have such a narrow midfield that you need the outside backs to get forward and provide the width, and I think James Kiffey does a good job of that.
And here's Hopino working on the right side, and he'll get it over to Brent Richards. Oh, and that's going to go under the feet of Kiffey, but he'll able to retain the ball and gets it to Caballo. Morel, Richards playing keep away. Morel going to launch one down the field, and Christian Tieryoung will take over on the right wing. And looked like he stepped out of bounds there.
Yeah, it looks like the ball went out of bounds a little bit there, but Christian Tieryoung once again making those dangerous penetrating runs out in the right corner. He's doing a really good job of stretching that Swope Park Rangers back line, a line that likes to stay high, likes to restrict play, but Reno's trying to look behind early.
And Brenton Griffiths is the player on the ground, I believe.
Yeah, just a late challenge there from the Chilean Diego Rubio against Brenton Griffiths. He'll help him back up. Nice sportsmanlike conduct there from Rubio.
Now, in these conditions, how hard is it just to kind of get a feel the first 10 minutes of the game, kind of get comfortable and settle in?
I think it's always a little hard to really settle in the opening minutes of a game, especially two teams with contrasting styles. But I think Reno's doing a good job settling. I mean, with the way the grass is wet right now from all that packed snow that's been on it for the last couple of days, the ball's going to skip a little bit, so they're going to want to make sure not to overhit passes too much. But oh wow, that was a great idea from Chris Wheaton, but it was read very well there by Graham Smith.
Colton Storm will take over, and that'll be out of bounds but retain possession as Seth Caballo knocked it out of bounds. And Zendejas will start shop here, getting it to Amir Jidik. And the Reno 1868 will take over, but it'll be Caballo working 2-on-1, and he gets knocked down from behind.
Another loss from Reno, successful last season that we haven't talked about yet, is Matt LaGrassa, who signed with Nashville with, like we said, the 4-4-2 diamond. You basically only have one person preventing counterattacks. So I'll hold that thought. Oh, but great tackle there by Amir Jidic. But like I said, you only have one person really to prevent counterattacks, and Matt LaGrassa did a spectacular job there. Now this year it looks like Eric Cavillo, the young midfielder San Jose Earthquakes picked up from New York Cosmos last year, is taking that task, and I think he's doing a great job so far. He's breaking up the play, he's finding the simple pass, doing everything Matt LaGrassa did so well last year. So I like what I see from him so far.
Zendejas gets it out to Colton Storm. Colton Storm pushes it up. Carlton Belmar. Belmar sends it back to Zendejas, and Zendejas will go left with it to Mateus Silva. And a great play there by Marcinowski.
And that all comes from that clever run from Diego Rubio. He runs off the shoulder of Haji Berry there. Haji Berry does a good job of finding him, and Rubio's quick snapshot, which looked like it was bound for goal, was well saved by JT Marcinowski, the San Jose Earthquakes homegrown player, who will be the new goalkeeper for Reno 1868 this year.
Here's Colton Storm with a shot, and that's going to be, well, a good play there by Griffiths, but maybe got a little bit too aggressive on, who was that, Diego Rubio?
Yeah, that's a great deep cross there from Colton Storm to find Diego Rubio, who's dangerous in the box once again. but Brenton Griffiths handles it really well, but looks like he's struggling a little bit off of that challenge.
And we'll have a corner kick as Felipe Hernandez will be the one to kick it in. Over the heads, headed by Morel, it appeared. And there's a save by Marcinkowski.
Yeah, Mateus Silva tries to chip that back across into the area, but easily dealt with by Marcinowski. But he tries to send it through and just sends it right back to Zendejas. And Swope Park Rangers have the ball again.
And here's Juan Kuzain. Here, Jidic back over to the goalie, Zendejas. Zendejas.
Great passing there to find Carlton Belmar through, but it looks like he's just offside there. But that ball movement between the likes of Saravia, Silva, and Belmar was fantastic. Really just quick, crisp, one-touch passing from Swope Park Rangers to show how they like to play. Short passes on the ground, draw people in, and then release the pacey wingers like Hadji Berry and Carlton Belmar.
So it'll be Marcinowski as he gets it downfield. Seth Casiple unable to retain possession of it, and the Rangers will take back over in their own zone. Marcinkowski back to Morel. Morel will set up shop here, gets it over to Kiffy. Kiffy gonna launch it downfield, trying to get in open Chris Wheaton, but unable to do so, and Zendejas will get this one back inside with the Rangers getting set on Stinger, but off the feet of Brenton Griffiths, and Griffiths gets it to Morel. Morel to Casiple. And Eric Cavillo will get it over to Griffiths, and Griffiths sends it over to Kiffy. Kiffy actively involved. Back to Casiple, and Casiple tries to get that one to Chris Wheaton. As Brian Brown working one-on-one with Graham Smith, it appeared, but the 1868 will retain possession. It'll be Casiple with the corner kick, I believe.
Yeah, this gives a chance for Reno 1868 to send their guys like Jordan Morel, Brenton Griffiths forward. They're going to want to find their heads. Seth Casiple with the corner.
Just a little bit too high and wide right there for Griffiths. And Jidic will take over. Sends it all the way across the field, back left. Trying to get it over to Rubio, and Rubio sends it back over to Belmar.
Well, it looks like Felipe Hernandez was just slightly offside there, but once again, the quick, clever passing from Swope Park Rangers to draw people in, and then the quick release from our oncoming runner. They're doing a really good job of that. Just need to time their runs a little better.
And Morel, the vocal point, get it over to Kiffy. Casiple, Kiffy. Griffiths back to Richards, and Richards will get it to Tieryoung. Tieryoung trying to work from right to left. And he'll send it back over to Zendejas. Colton Storm. Jidic. Back to Zendejas. Zendejas. And intercepted by Tieryoung there. Nice play by him. Brown, and it'll be taken away by Rodrigo Saravia.
Oh, great defensive work from Brian Brown to win it. Stop that counterattack from Swope Park Rangers. But
Chris Wheaton there on the action, and he slips. As Jordan Morrell comes up with a nice play there and takes over his own steal, he'll work across the field. Gets it over to Tieryoung on the right side. Tieryoung trying to get it inside to Hopino, and that's going to be Ranger ball. Silva takes it over, and
a great ball there from Mateus Silva to find Haji Berry on the opposite wing. Clever passing between him and Diego Rubio.
Berry will work to Saravia. Saravia will work back to Kuzane. Nice move there by Berry. As Diego Rubio unable to get a decent shot on goal as 1868 take over through the legs of Hopino.
Yeah, but Diego Rubio's movement in the box once again causing headaches for Reno 1868. He's so clever. Finds space there between Jordan Morrell and James Kiffey. Just tries to lay that across for an oncoming runner, but no one was there. Thought maybe he should have taken it on himself, but he's been very dangerous in these opening minutes.
And Colton Storm will get it to Jidic, and Jidic will work from right to left. And Silva on the left wing. Back to Jidic, who gets it back over to Zendejas. A possession team, you said, and we're seeing that prime example of it right now.
I mean, you just look how spread they are. I mean, they have their center backs dropping all the way nearly to the 18-yard box to give space in the midfield for guys like Kuzane and Felipe Hernandez, along with Colton Storm and Mateus Silva getting up the field a little bit, creating that almost horseshoe shape in the back four. They're possession-oriented teams like to play with. But they're doing a really good job of moving the ball around, picking their passes, finding their right opportunities to try and get those runners behind.
And Saravia will get back the ball, and Saravia will play it safe. And Graham Smith, he'll launch it back down in the feet of Colton Storm. As Storm works back to Jidic. And Jidic will keep this one himself. He'll take it over, try to get it to the left to Belmar, and that'll be back to Tieryoung for the 1868. Nice move there by Tieryoung, but a good recovery there.
Tieryoung does well to counter that press there by Swope Park Rangers, retain possession, try to swing it around the other way. But Reno's having trouble finding the ball right now. When Swope Park Rangers do lose it, they're so quick at just pouncing and pressing together to make sure that Reno can't get anything out of it. Reno is trying to force that pass early to try and get in behind while Swope's still in that big open positioning that we've been talking about. But they're not having much luck because of the counter pressing by Swope Park Rangers. When they lose the ball, they're immediately on top of it. They're making sure that that killer ball can't be hit.
Here's Tieryoung trying to get something going. He'll get it out wide to Hopino. Hopino doesn't have the numbers, and he will try to get it back over to Kasipli. Kasipli does get possession for a moment, and he'll try to get it inside to Brown. Brown, and what a shot there. What a play, and that's Chris Wheaton, a player that you talked about all pregame, and there with a huge goal to give the Reno 1868 the 1-0 lead.
And who else would it be but the 2017 USL Rookie of the Year, Chris Wheaton, putting it home past Zendejas against the run of play, and that comes from the work of Antoine Opino on that corner. To get that cross in for Kasipli, finds Brown, little poke there to Chris Wheaton, and Chris Wheaton just pounds it home. Slight deflection, but it doesn't matter. Chris Wheaton puts it away past Zendejas to make it 1-0 in the opening goal for Reno 1868 of the 2018 season.
And that deflection, that could have fooled Zendejas. It looked from the instant replay that he was going one way, and the deflection just sent it enough to his right. And as the 1868 pick up their first goal of the season and take the 1-0 lead with 23:03 here in the first half.
Yeah, it actually takes a pretty big deflection there off, I believe, Graham Smith. It takes it completely away from Zendejas' path, but goal's a goal no matter how it's scored, and it's now 1-0 for Reno. And like I said, against the run of play, really, Swope Park Rangers have been dominating possession, doing a very good job of finding Diego Rubio in dangerous positions, but all it takes is one counterattack from Reno. After Christian Cheeryoung wins the ball, finds Openo. Openo puts across, and saw a lot of numbers in the box. Brian Brown, Seth Kasipli, Chris Weehan. Chris Weehan was able to put it away after a little scramble there in the box.
And here's the Rangers trying to answer.
Great movement again from Rubio.
And there's a nice deflection there by the 1868. Colton Storm. Kuzane. Saravia. And Barry comes in momentarily, but Jidic with the ball gets it over to Graham Smith. Graham Smith takes over again. Back to Jidic, and Jidic will look for an opening. He goes across the field, and that's where the Rangers will set up shop. Ball movement so flawlessly and effortlessly for these Rangers. As the ball gets into Saravia, and that'll bounce off Saravia, and the 1868 will take over. Kiffey will have the responsibilities of the throw-in. Looking for an open man. He's deflected, but back into the feet of Kiffey, although the Rangers do take over.
Oh, look, great little dummy run there from Brian Brown. Finds Openo, and quick, clever feet from Openo. Draws everybody in. Oh, but Mateus Silva's right on top of it. Still Openo, though. Referee thinks that Amir Jidic got a bit of the ball before he got Openo, but Reno retained possession until Diego Rubio takes it away, and now we have another counterattack, this time from Haji Berry.
Berry will set up shop, getting it to Colton Storm out wide right. Storm will work one-on-one with Kiffey, getting it inside to Berry, and Berry's going to try to make a move on Morel, but Morel's right there.
Morel does a good job shepherding that for a goal kick, but that earlier from Antoine Openo shows what he can do. He's so elusive and clever with his dribbles. No one quite knows whether to try and make a tackle, because he can just quickly get away, and if you just step off, he can find that space for a shot. So he's such a tough player to handle.
Marcinkowski will resume play with a kick downfield, and unable to come up with it is Brown, but it will retain possession as Kasipli gets it inside to Openo, back to Kasipli, and he'll work backwards to Kiffey. Kiffey looking for somewhere to go with the ball. Openo gets open for a second, gets it back over to Kasipli. Here's Openo, and did he step out of bounds? We do have an injury, and that's Amir Jidic, as the referee signals for the trainer to head over. Appears to be some sort of lower extremity, as Adrian Zendejas and Rodrigo Saravia stand over him, comforting him. He appears to be in some sort of pain.
And Paulo Nagamura will be hoping that this isn't serious, because things could go from bad to worse on his game plan. Amir Jidic is so important to this Swope Park Rangers back line.
Oh, yep. He caught his left foot, and it just kind of drove into the turf and then went one way, his body went the other. Don't want to speculate, but some sort of roll, it appeared. That could be due to the footing. You can see the infield on the screen, and I can guarantee you that the footing is different on the infield than any other part of this field. Again, the Reno Aces do also call Greater Nevada Field home. And the trainer's still working with Jidic, who's holding his left ankle, and that's what went into the dirt and got caught underneath him, as Brian Brown stands over to make sure his counterpart is okay. He's hobbling pretty good. He's going to need assistance from the trainer as he gets a pat on the back from Brown and Zendejas. But he's in obviously some sort of pain, and good thing he's able to get off on his own. But that left ankle is pretty limp.
Yeah, and last thing Swope Park Rangers will want right now is to make a substitution this early, especially a key player like Amir Jidic. They do have Dakota Barnathan on the bench. He would be the likely one to come in case Amir Jidic can't continue, but he's going to try to walk it off so he can see out the remaining 60 or so minutes. It actually looks like it's Matt Lewis coming on to partner Graham Smith.
Matt Lewis, number 88, will enter the game fresh off the bench, as the Rangers hope they can get that quality defense from Lewis that Jidic offered them. As we resume play here after an injury in the 1868 takeover. Here's Griffiths to Richards on the right. Richards getting it inside to Tieryoung, and Tieryoung will have it intercepted as the Rangers get back the ball, and it'll be out of bounds, however. So back with the 1868.
Yeah, Christian Tieryoung's been a handful on this right side. He's playing a lot wider than Seth Kasipli on the opposite side of the diamond, but he's looking to get at Mateus Silva. He's looking to force him into mistakes, try to get him behind, and get crosses in. Mateus Silva does really well on that last play, though, to handle him.
Tieryoung will inbound this one. Or no, he'll flip it over to Richards, I believe. Yep, Richards will to Cavillo, and Cavillo will have it taken away from him. Nice move there by Morel, and Morel trying to get this one to Brown. Brown. Zendejas will take over. Brown frustrated there with himself. And here's Lewis in his first action of the game.
And Brian Brown with a great run. Jordan Morel does really well to find him, but Graham Smith with that recovery tackle. He initially gets the ball, but is it quite out of Brian Brown's path is the question that Reno 1868 fans will be asking. They wanted a penalty there, but I think Graham Smith gets the ball. I think that's a fair call from the referee.
And here's an inbound from Kiffey. Back to Morel. Morel. He'll just get it over inside to Griffiths.
Looks like Reno 1868 have a whole new lease of life after that goal. They're controlling the ball a lot more. They're more comfortable in possession. Now Swope Park Rangers are starting to panic a little bit after controlling so well in the opening 25 or so minutes.
Here's Zendejas negotiating, and he'll send it back left. Carlton Belmar trying to get it to Barry, and there's a nice play there by Kiffey. And Marcinkowski will take over. He'll throw it back in. Gets it to Kasipli. Gets it to Tieryoung. Nice play by Morel, retaining possession to Wheaton, and then back over to Kiffey. So the 1868 here in no rush as Morel launches it downfield to Tieryoung. Tieryoung again on that right wing. Nice move there. And turned over as the Rangers take over.
Felipe Hernandez has a lot of room to run here. Really slows down play when Reno has that many numbers forward, you want to attack a little quicker, but they do a good job of finding Hernandez again in the pocket of space. Finds Haji Berry.
And Berry works for it. He'll look for an opening, and he'll get it to Colton Storm. A little bit better a pass, and Berry may have a shot there on goal. As Matt Lewis gets into the thick of things, he'll get it over to Berry, and Berry will work left to right, try to get it to Storm, and Storm.
I think Swope Park Rangers would have wanted a foul there. It looks like Jordan Morell goes into the back of the player there, but ref waves play on, and Swope retain possession, trying to work at the other side now.
And Juan Kuzain. Is that Griffiths?
It looks like Brian Brown on the floor in some
Brian
discomfort.
Brown, yep.
But Brent Richards helps him up. Yeah, just Brian Brown does well to shield the ball, but Kuzain goes in a little too eagerly there and catches him on his standing foot. That won't feel too good, but Brian Brown shakes it off. He's all good.
Everything hurts more in the cold, certainly. Here's Morell to Kiffy. Kiffy starts things out. Caballo, and he'll get it started to Tieryoung. Tieryoung trying to make something happen once again. Puts a nice move. It'll be Zendejas who recovers the ball.
And with the positions that Christian Tieryoung's occupying, it's almost as if they're playing in a 4-3-3 rather than the 4-4-2 diamond. And he's working back in the midfield, and defensively they keep that shape, but attacking, he's not taking up those half spaces between the attack and midfield where he can find the ball and drive it forward. He's trying to get the ball in behind the defense. He's trying to get the ball on that big split that Jordan Morell keeps finding, get in behind and put crosses in.
And here's Griffiths to Richards. And that'll be inadvertently off Caballo. As Brown, who appeared to be limpy a moment ago, appears fine now, and he'll get it to Tieryoung. Tieryoung on the right, looking for something inside. He gets it. Oh, and what a play there by Zendejas, and Zendejas comes up with it. Great block there. As it went off the head of appeared to be Kasipli. Kasipli tried to head it in.
Yeah, and a great diving header from Seth Kasipli. Christian Tieryoung on that right side once again chips in.
Great pass, yeah.
Into that late run from Kasipli, and Kasipli gets so much power on it.
And Diego Rubio will send a little blooper over. Carlton Belmar in on the action. And Belmar will work back. Trying to feed it inside, and here's Matt Lewis trying to ease himself into the game. Lewis to Storm, Storm back to Lewis. Lewis will go wide left with it. And it'll be off the feet of Carlton Belmar, back with the 1868.
Yeah, Matt Lewis looks comfortable so far after being introduced. He's a player that grew up in the Sporting Kansas City Academy. He's someone familiar with the way they want to play, homegrown player with Sporting KC. I like what I've seen so far of him in that right center back role after, of course, Amir Jidic came off with his ankle issue.
A throw in by Richards, and it'll be intercepted, and here's Colton Storm. Matt Lewis again.
Matt Lewis is actually their 8th homegrown player for Sporting Kansas City, which really is a tremendous use of their academy. They've done a good job of integrating kids from the Kansas City area into their professional ranks, which is great for U.S. soccer. Invest that kind of money into the grassroots game in order for them to be the players of tomorrow.
Here's Storm, and coming from behind is Chris Wheaton, as it'll roll back all the way across the field to Zendejas. Matt Lewis. Saravia. And Saravia will try to work one-on-one. And he'll send it back to Storm, back to Saravia. Saravia goes across the field with it. And Kiffy will just let it roll past him. Back with the 1868. Kiffy will wait momentarily before inbounding it. And here he will. There's Hopino, and Hopino back to Kasipli. Kasipli will work to Chris Wheaton, and Chris Wheaton will go back with it, and a nice save there. And here's Richards, and he'll have a toss in to Caballo, and Caballo back to Morel and Kiffy. Caballo, the centerpiece here. He goes with it. And he'll just send it back over to Griffiths. Griffiths will go across to Morel. Kiffy starting to bring it up and gets it back over to Caballo. And Caballo again trying to find Tier Young on that right wing. They like to go to him. Chris Wheaton in on the action. Wheaton get it inside of Brown. Brown, a nice play there by the Rangers.
Yeah, an important intervention there from Colton Storm to get them the last second against Brian Brown. But Swope Park Rangers give up possession once again. Now Reno's controlling the game.
Yep.
A lot of it through Eric Caballo, who's doing a good job of spreading the field. He's finding passes left to right. I like what I see so far from the former New York Cosmos midfielder.
And here's Tier Young. Tier Young tries to get it out to Kasipli, and Kasipli's going to, and there is a nice save there by Zendejas. Kasipli again trying to head it in, but Zendejas on top of it, and he'll roll this one in.
Yeah, another difficult ball for Seth Kasipli to generate any power in. That looping ball, I would have probably rather seen him try to head it back across to Brian Brown, and I know Brian Brown feels the same.
Get a better shot on goal there.
Yeah, and those second balls are tough to deal with defenders. If you head that back across goal, everyone's head's turning, seeing that far post, and you put it back, everyone forgets about Brian Brown there in the middle, and Brown has an easy finish. But that's all right. Seth Kasipli's trying to get in the box, trying to get a goal.
And Tier Young will work back over to Richards. Richards will work backwards to Morel, and it'll be actually Kiffy who comes up with it. And Kiffy will go out wide left to Kasipli. Kasipli will go back to Kiffy, and Kiffy inside to Morel. Morel let Marcinkowski take over. He gets it to Caballo, and Caballo back to Kiffy. They look very comfortable with where they're at right now. The 1-0 lead with the 42-minute approaching. And Richards will work out of bounds, and the Rangers will end up with it. Here's a throw in. Back to the goalies in Dejas, with Hopino approaching him, but he gets it out to Lewis. And Lewis will work to midfield. Graham Smith. And Griffiths to Tier Young, and Tier Young will work.
It looks like Tier Young did keep it in play there. Nagamura was saying it's a throw-in, but it doesn't matter since Swope Park Rangers have the ball anyway. And game looks like it's slowed down a little bit in these last couple of minutes after really exciting, a little bit frantic of a opening 40 or so.
Here's Chris Wheaton. He'll turn, and it'll be deflected by the Rangers. Here's Matt Lewis to Colton Storm. Saravia, Storm. Storm dribbling up. And Aji Berry back over to Storm.
Diego Rubio tries to find that ball to Saravia. Once again, Diego Rubio has had some clever movement. He's able to turn, face the goal, and try to find Saravia's late run. I mean, Diego Rubio is someone with a point to prove. Came into Sporting Kansas City as a young designated player, and now he's in the peripheral, really, of Sporting Kansas City. He wants to earn that starting role back, and he has to prove it here with Sporting Kansas City's affiliate, Swope Park Rangers, which he plans to do today.
Marcinkowski will launch one. Colton Storm will come up with it. He'll try to get to Barry, but before Barry can get it, Brent Richards does.
And a good inside-out run there from Brian Brown. For that quick release, that's what Ian Russell wants his strikers to do. He wants them to start in the middle and then make that run towards the corner flag. Really stretch that team, get the ball in the corner, and let the rest of the team move up.
Here's a throw-in. Caballo gets it over to Cheer Young, but he shoots it a little bit too far, and the Rangers will start. Here's an inbound pass that sails over the head, and debating who it was out of bounds off of. And it'll go to the 1868 as Brent Richards will throw it in, and he does. Trying to get it to Brown, and Brown gets outworked there by Silva. Giffey will come up with it, trying to keep it away, but unable to do so. Inside to Saravia. Saravia, Barry, and Barry with a little push from behind by Richards. Back to Belmar on the left side. Belmar works.
Saravia with a lot of space. You want to be a little tighter to him there. He could have maybe even taken it down, had a shot himself, but elects to try and find Diego Rubio there.
And Morel comes up with the deflection. Matt Lewis. As the Rangers trying to get something happen before halftime. Don't want to go into the locker room down 1-0. Although they certainly don't want to give up another one. Here's Matt Lewis to Saravia. Saravia works. Trying to get it inside to Barry, and Barry. And a good deflection there by Brent Richards as Jordan Morel with it laying on the ground.
Yeah, a bit of a heart and mouth moment for Reno there. Seconds till halftime. Haji Barry gets him behind and puts a cross in, but Brent Richards with that goal line clearance out for a corner kick. They're going to want to see out halftime. Last thing you want to do is concede right before half. Oh, and JT Marcinkowski deals with it well.
Little bump there by a Ranger, but nice job there by Marcinkowski. He calls for some movement, and he'll kick it downfield. And that'll be it for the first half. Well, the 1868 get their first goal and take the 1-0 lead as we go into the half. We'll send it back for a quick break before we return for a little recap of the first half.
faces mix in with all the other teams we have in our league.
We're being joined today by Jake Edwards, president of the USL. Just getting ready to kick off an exciting 2018 season. Jake, thank you very much for joining us today.
Great, my pleasure.
Jake, it's been another exciting off-season for the USL, and buzz is really picking up as we're getting ready to kick off here. Talk to us about what you're looking forward to the most in 2018 and where the USL is positioning itself in the American soccer landscape.
Yeah, we've worked hard this off-season and the last few years now to create a really great league, but an aspirational league. We look at the leagues around the world and we say we would like to be in the company of some of those top leagues. We're now the second division in the US. We've worked hard to achieve that, and we aspire to be one of the top second divisions in the world. And there's some phenomenal leagues out there to aspire to that we can learn from. But things are going great. It's been a busy off season. We've got some new teams coming on board, some great new owners coming in the league, phenomenal new players coming in the league. And it's going to be by far and away the toughest and most competitive season, but certainly it's the biggest season we've had yet. More games, more teams. We reach more communities, more fans than ever before. So this is another big year for us.
Well, the league this year certainly continues to grow, and we're welcoming 6 new teams to the USL in 2018. What are you looking forward to the most during this kickoff weekend of these teams coming in and the quality of soccer we're going to see across the league?
Yeah, 6 very exciting teams. 2 teams that are already established clubs in Indy 11 and North Carolina. Great pedigree, great fan bases, exciting soccer-specific stadiums, and Atlanta United, the lone team out of MLS coming in this season. Atlanta United breaking all kinds of records as an organization in MLS, doing great things for the sport. Fully anticipate the same for Atlanta United too. And then of course our new markets, Nashville and Las Vegas, Fresno. Really exciting new additions to our league, and have done tremendously well in pre-season games so far, well attended. So very much looking to see how those teams and those new fan bases mix in with all the other teams we have in the league.
We're being joined today by Jake Edwards, president.
Back here at Greater Nevada Field for the halftime show. pretty good first half for the 1868, getting a goal by Chris Wheaton early in the first half. And you talked about time of possession prior to that goal. It seemed like the Rangers were dominating it, and all of a sudden Chris Wheaton puts in a goal to give the 1868 a 1-0 lead, and they were able to preserve that lead and going into the half.
Yeah, Swope Park Rangers held the ball, but it's Reno that come into half with the 1-0 lead, and let's take a look at the highlights in that first half.
Chris Wheaton a year ago had 8 goals, 12 assists, and 30 games played. He was a 2017 Rookie of the Year, also the assist leader and all-league first team, as we await some of those highlights from the first half. A good hand-on crowd, and we appreciate them being out here tonight, as it is not a warm evening and a gloomy, not snowing, but a gloomy opening day here at Greater Nevada Field. You can see the snow that's piled along the baseline. But we are very fortunate to have a nice crowd on hand in the opening day of 1868 and Rangers soccer, two of the better teams in the Western Conference from a year ago. And we'll send it to break before we come back for the second half of the 1868 and the Swope Park Rangers. Back here at Greater Nevada Field just moments away from the return of the second half.
Yeah, snow's starting to fall again.
Yep.
A little heavier now. For Swope Park Rangers, I think they're going to try and push a little more. I think they're going to try and have that crisp one-touch passing to try and get the likes of Carlton Belmar and Diego Rubio through on goal. For Reno, I predict that they're gonna set up shop a little more, sit back a little more defensively. I think Seth Casipli will now sit in next to Eric Caballo. They'll abandon the diamond.
Yeah.
But this second half should be interesting here at Greater Nevada Field.
And here's the second half resuming as Kuzain gets it over to Saravia, and Saravia, the snow begins to fall harder and harder. Again, the 1868 working left to right, the Rangers right to left. Saravia looking, trying to get it inside to Barry. Marcinkowski gets it down.
Yeah, we see right away that midfield there of Tier Young, Cavillo, Casipli, and Weehan's a lot tighter now. They're not gonna spread the field so much. They're gonna want to restrict that space in the middle because that's where Swope Park Rangers like to operate. But this doesn't look good for Jordan Morel, who fell awkwardly there.
And Diego Rubio standing by him, as well as Brenton Griffiths. Some sort of down in the downstairs region, and they don't wear cups, I don't think so. But he'll be able to shake that one off momentarily. I will say this, it is cold, so that's gonna hurt a lot more.
Yeah, it definitely didn't feel good, but JT Marcinkowski will resume play.
And you can see on the screen the snow begins to fall as Griffiths gets tangled up with Lewis.
Oh, and a great play there to find Carlton Belmar through. He's able to get it right before the end line.
It's tripped up, and Kiffy works with him. Nice play there by Casipli.
So 2 subs now for Swope Park Rangers by halftime. A little bit unusual from Paulo Nagamura, but he'll be looking for Rebellon to spark something in this second half.
There's Storm. Storm will work over to Rebellon, and Rebellon will hit the deck. Yeah, and the Rangers will get a free kick here.
Looks like Felipe Hernandez standing over this. He's going to want to find the head of the likes of the center backs like Matt Lewis and Graham Smith.
And that's going to be cleared out by Brenton Griffiths, and taking over is Chris Wheaton. Wheaton will work alongside the end line, as Hopino tries to come up with it, unable to do so, and it'll be Adrian Zendejas trying to find the open man, but he'll just instead like to get it inside. Juan Kuzain, Colton Storm back to Graham Smith.
Juan Kuzain, the 19-year-old from the Sporting Kansas City Academy. He's actually has a lot of attention, interestingly enough, from Malaysia. He grew up from Malaysian parents, and ever since a video came of him as an 11-year-old, the Malaysian fans have pinned them as their next new hope. So I'm sure we have a few Malaysian fans tuning in, seeing how he's doing.
Here's Barry trying to get it out wide to Carlton Belmar. And Rebellon, he'll get tripped up, but retain possession of the ball due the Rangers. Saravia, Rebellon. Casipli with the defense on Belmar, but in Storm.
So it looks like Mateus Silva came off for Rebellon. Colton Storm switched over to that left back, while Rebellon moves over to the right back. You see both of them getting a lot further forward than they were earlier in the game. They're almost operating as wingers, trying to pin back Reno 1868.
Here's Rebellon on that right side, and his shot will go way wide of the net. As Marcinkowski asks for a new ball and gets one. You can get a nice shot there of the snow that's built up on the end line. Again, that's from the days past, but you can see that it's still coming down. As it gets colder, it'll continue to stick. Marcinkowski booms one.
Bit of a weird winter in northern Nevada this year.
To say the least.
Sunny in 50s and 60s really all through January and February, and winter came late, and we've seen a lot of snowfall in the last couple weeks.
And here's Barry. Barry trying to put a move on Young. He'll just go back with it. And Storm will working against Brent Richards. Jordan Morrell and gets tangled up. One on one. Oh! And that was just too easy by Diego Rubio. He had plenty of good looks in the first half, and certainly that was about one of the easiest goals Rubio will ever have in his career.
Yeah, and it all comes from Hadji Berry. Really sneaks up behind James Kiffey, steals the ball, and quickly finds Diego Rubio with another clever run in behind. Diego Rubio just takes a touch to set himself up. Oh, and it looks like the little Rabona pass from Hadji Berry to find Rubio, and Rubio with a nice, cool finish.
Now, Marcinkowski came up to approach that. Was that just too quick of a move, or was it just a good play by Rubio?
I think Rubio had too much space in to get in behind. It looks like the Reno back line was a little out of sorts, and James Kiffey in that position does not want to give up that ball, and Hadji Berry sneaks in behind him. Just that clever little Rabona behind the leg ball to find Diego Rubio's run. Great goal there from Swope Park Rangers to tie it up. And now it's going to be a little bit different of a game plan for Reno. They wanted to set up shop. They wanted to see out these next 45 minutes, but now they're going to want a goal. They're going to want to make it 2-1. But now it looks like Swope Park Rangers are brimming with confidence.
Well, despite the injury to Amir Jidik, hasn't seemed to bother them since. Hopino works at Young, and Hopino will get the ball back. Working against Colton Storm. He'll go to Caballo, and Caballo will look somewhere inside. Instead, he'll dribble up a little bit and have it intercepted, but back in the feet of Hopino. And good move there by Kiffey, but Belmar retains possession, gets it to Storm.
Bit of a revenge tackle there from James Kiffey after Hadji Berry picks his pocket leading up to the goal. He does well to lunge, but Hadji Berry keeps possession there.
And Rebellon works inside to Saravia. Back to Rebellon.
It looks like Reno 1860 are gearing up for a substitution. It looks like it's Luis Felipe. And another great run, this time from Felipe Hernandez. And that rebound almost came to Diego Rubio, but JT Marcinkowski comes up big there.
Nice job by Marcinkowski as Rubio was bearing down his back.
Like I said, Luis Felipe signed mid-season last year from Reno 1868. Did a fantastic job, the young Brazilian. Earned a call-up for San Jose Earthquakes, and he's loaned down here just like Chris Wehan. It looks like Seth Kasipli's the one coming out, so Luis Felipe will come on the left side of the diamond there. Powerful box-to-box midfielder, strong, good at holding up the ball. He's going to want to make something happen in these last minutes after Reno conceded to Swope Park Rangers.
So Luis Felipe entering the game, number 96. And here's Saravia working to Matt Lewis. Lewis will look to take it himself briefly, and he'll launch it downfield for it only to be intercepted by Brent Richards. Openo work trying to get the ball back, and Richards does. Young takes it.
Oh, Diego Rubio does well to win the ball and then moves. Oh, and Felipe Hernandez, it's tackled on the edge of the box by James Kiffey. Really a last-ditch tackle from Kiffey after Morel loses the ball. But now it's Reno on the other side with Openo.
And Openo will throw this one in after it's deflected. Getting it to Young. Young with a shot, but Zendejas all over it.
Yeah, not enough behind it from Young. I actually thought he was trying to find Brian Brown on the far post, and that might have been his intention, but his weaker left foot just took the ball and had just a curved effort over at Zendejas' far post, which is easily handled by him.
Rebion takes over.
It looks like Reno are straying away from the diamond and playing more of a traditional flat 4-4-2. We see Luis Felipe sitting next to Eric Caballo, and we see Chris Wheaton and Young occupying the wings. So more of what we expect a 4-4-2 to be rather than the diamond formation that Reno was so famous for last year.
Be out of bounds on Saravia, back in possession with the 1868. Openo with a good move. He makes a defender miss, working from the right side, trying to get his shot, but instead he'll go way left. And Chris Wheaton wanted some sort of call, I believe.
Yeah, and you hear the Reno fans, they're not happy with that call. Chris Wheaton tries to skip past the challenge of Matt Lewis, but Lewis just stays strong. Wheaton goes down. I agree that it wasn't a penalty. I think there's not enough in it for a penalty, but real close moment there from Swope Park Rangers after a good ball in from Openo to find Wheaton's late run.
There's Rebion. And Storm, he'll get it inside to Barry. Barry trying to put a move on Griffiths. Instead, he'll go out wide right to Belmar. Belmar with the shot, and that's going to go in for the goal. Carlton Belmar with the second goal for the Rangers, and this one just shoots past Marcinkowski.
And it all comes from Hadji Berry's play. Draws in everybody. Carlton Belmar's all alone on the opposite end, and he powers a shot past JT Marcinkowski. Great goal there from Carlton Belmar off of Hadji Berry's assist. 2 assists now for Hadji Berry.
Berry with quite the game. And a nice shot there by Belmar.
And this is a great second half so far from Swope Park Rangers.
Yep.
They've really responded after being down at halftime with 2 fantastic goals, both brilliantly set up by the clever winger Hadji Berry. And now Reno are going to want to figure out these last 30 minutes, how do we get 1 or 2 back?
It's going to be tough in these conditions. And out of nowhere comes Rubio with a big steal. And again, here's Belmar. But just the Rangers dominating this second half early, but already have scored 2 goals. And here's Storm working on the left. You can sort of just sense the tide change. Here's Barry. Barry trying to work inside to Rubio, and Marcinkowski all over that one.
Yeah, and
that guy doesn't have a shirt on.
And Hadji Berry, we can see that he switched sides with Carlton Belmar. Obviously a clear tactical instruction by Paulo Nagamura. And he's had a lot of success in that little half space between Brent Richards and Brenton Griffiths. He's been able to operate there and be that creative player who's finding runs into the box. He's done an excellent job so far. Really, this whole Swope Park Rangers team has responded so well in the second half. But Brent Richards finds Openo's run on the throw-in.
Here's Openo with a good move. And there's a shot and a goal. Wow, what a play there by Brown, but all set up by Openo as the 1868 get right back into this thing with a goal from Brian Brown. Look, check out this move by Openo. getting it inside to Brown, and Brown punching it in to make this a 2-2 game.
And like you said, it all comes from Antoine Openo's move against Graham Smith there. Brings it inside and then beats him on the end line and finds that ball to Brian Brown, and Brian Brown just tucks it away to make it 2-2 between Reno 1868 and Swope Park Rangers. This will be a very interesting 30 minutes to see out in the heavy snow.
Hey, here's Colton Storm. As the snow begins to come down harder and harder, visibility here in the booth has decreased and is now limited to just a couple hundred yards. Here's Saravia. Saravia working. Excuse me, that's Rebbio. No, that's Saravia. As jersey numbers become harder to see. Lewis. Back to Zendejas. And Zendejas will work. Trying to get over to Colton Storm. And Storm.
Juan Cousin is so clever with his touch. You see every time he takes the first touch, it's always away from pressure. He always knows how to find that touch into space, find the easy pass, and allow Swope Park Rangers to get out of trouble.
Here's Colton Storm, and you can see the ball leaving a track on the infield. As Graham Smith takes back over, and he'll get it over to Kazane, who you just spoke of. You know, as the snow begins to fall into the field and soak in, does that have any effect on how the ball rolls?
Yeah, I think the ground's going to get wetter and wetter, especially as the snow starts to stick, and it's gonna cause a skip with that ball. But it looks like it's easy to handle so far. But Brent Richards with a great play to get away from pressure. Oh, and he almost finds Openo in that run, but Openo's in a little bit different of a page with him. He wants that ball into the corner, but Brent Richards looks for that killer ball straight through the middle.
Juan Cousin back over to Rebion. And Rebion works. Here's Colton Storm on the left. Storm looking for somewhere to go, looking for any window possible. Instead, he'll go back with it to Saravia. Saravia will go further to Lewis. Through Lewis. Back over momentarily to Rebion, but back into the feet of Lewis, who'll go back to the goalies. And Dejas don't want to give the 1868 any momentum. Colton Storm.
Yeah, and it looks like Swope Park Rangers, after conceding that second goal, are just trying to calm down the play a little bit, trying to gain some confidence in possession again. Really work their way up slowly.
Matt Lewis trying to get it downfield to Rubio. Rubio kicks it over to Marcinkowski, and it'll be Griffiths who clears it. Openo works at midfield, and we do have a call.
And we see that clever movement from Openo. Does so well to to turn him, but then gets taken down. And now Reno can push their lines up a little more and get into Swope Park Rangers half after defending in their half for the last few minutes.
And we see our replay brought to you by Harris. Openo hits the deck.
Looks like Juan Cousin just drags him down. Openo's so good at turning defenders, making them have to commit that foul.
And here's Eric Caballo with a free kick. You can see visibility. You can see visibility becoming an issue, but Caballo will take over. Gets it to Griffiths, back over to Morel. And Morel will kick it inside, only for it to be sent back outside to Griffiths. And Griffiths works left to right, getting it into the feet of Richards. Richards trying to put a move on Barry, but instead will elect to go outside with it. And here's Morel. Morel will work inside, getting it to Hopino, and Hopino will try to drive back out. But it's picked up by Rebillon, who actually has it stolen, but it's back into the feet of Rebillon. Rebillon will put a move on Hopino, who gets it to Barry, and Marcinkowski will come up and run into Griffiths as they collide, and Griffiths is down.
Griffiths does a really good job of sniffing that danger. Once again, it's that run from Diego Rubio. Felipe Hernandez tries to find that little reverse pass to Rubio, but Brent Griffiths gets his body between and gets a shove from Rubio, goes over the top of J.C. Marcinkowski, and he's slow to get up.
And you can see Morel working on the legs of Griffiths, maybe a cramp. It's in these conditions when it's just cold, it's hard to get those muscles to go, and any sort of slight misstep just hurts.
I think Brent Griffiths suffered from a similar predicament that Jordan Morel had moments ago.
Yep.
As we see Morel and the referee share a laugh there.
And here's Griffiths. He'll go to the right alongside where second base would be. And Morel, headed by Rebillon. Hopino trying to get the ball
Great
back.
Move there from Carlton Belmar to get out of the pressure by James Kiffey. Here's Juan Kuzain.
And Colton Storm. You can see the ball and cleats leaving marks on the field as the snow begins to pile up. Natural playing field here with the grass. And Zendejas will go to Graham Smith. Storm sails one over the head of Marcinkowski over the net.
Yeah, and I think in these last few minutes, as the snow's gotten thicker and heavier, the quality's dipped a little bit. Both teams are slowing down. Passes aren't quite finding feet. Shots quite aren't finding target. But here comes Danny Mazovsky for Brian Brown. Danny Mazovsky, the standout striker for UNLV. Drafted second round, by the San Jose Earthquakes. He comes in and tries to make a name for himself on this USL debut. He'll be hoping for that winning goal. Mazovsky, really just a great career with UNLV. 47 goals over his 4 years.
Wow.
He's a similar profile to San Jose Earthquake striker Chris Wondolowski. Not super physically imposing, not the quickest player, but he knows where the back of the net is. He knows how to find that goal, and he'll be looking to do that in this cold, snowy Reno afternoon.
Again, when we started the game, it was overcast, but no snow was coming down. But as we've hit this 60th minute or so, we've seen the increase in snow.
And as the snow keeps to stick, there could be concern that the ref calls us a little bit early, because there's a point where
safety becomes an issue.
Safety becomes an issue, and the ball can't even roll on the ground. So
yeah.
I know the new USL rule is if it goes by the 70th minute and they call it early, then the game is then concluded. So I think the referee will want to at least see it out for the next couple of minutes. But I predict we'll see out these full 90 minutes. But we can see that snow sticking more and more. It's harder for these playing conditions, for the ball to roll at all, people to move around in it.
Well, it's a good thing Brian Brown got his goal when he did, because you don't want to be trailing in these conditions. You don't want to be playing comeback when it's coming down like this. And here's Saravia off Morel, and as it goes, shoots into the air, and Griffiths comes up with it, working against Rubio, and we'll have a call on the field.
A shove in the back from Diego Rubio into Brent Griffiths. Doesn't try to go up in the air of him, just tries to give him a push instead. And the ref will rightly give a foul there, and JT Marcinkowski will send this up.
And And we'd like to say happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody tuning in, and we appreciate you watching us over the NCAA tournament. And you can see just that shot right there, just how much snow has come down with the markings on the field.
Oh, excuse me, it's actually Christian Tieryoung who got subbed out, not Brian Brown. So Christian Tieryoung is out for Danny Wondolowski, and that really shows a clear. Oh no, Christian Tieryoung is there. But that ball to Wondolowski.
Oh,
and a
and
great
what a
shot
save.
there, and
Nice
great
save by
save
Zendejas.
Adrian Zendejas.
Well, Wondolowski comes into the game and right away in on the action. And you can see from that shot just how much snow is hitting down. That's a great shot right there, and we'd like to thank all of our camera crew. Thank all of our crew today for making this broadcast possible, but especially out there on the camera. Not ideal weather for opening day soccer, but we will take it. As this gets drilled out of bounds off the body of Rodrigo Saravia, and we'll do it again.
Excuse me, it's actually Chris Weehan who got subbed out. But a clear attacking move, having Openo, Brown, and Danny Wondolowski all on the field together.
And here's Brown working. Rebion with a nice bicycle kick. But it'll trickle out of bounds, and Tieryoung will inbound it. As snow begins to mount up. Good thing I have four-wheel drive.
Haji Berry once again acting as the playmaker, finding Carlton Belmar on that through ball, but Belmar just mistimes his run and it's offside. But another close call. Haji Berry's done a really good job of finding those gaps to hit those balls through to oncoming strikers.
Here's Openo. Brent Richards. Back to Felipe. And Morel will take over. Here's a streak by the Rangers. Barry. And a nice come from behind by Felipe to force an errant shot.
Huge tackle there from Luis Felipe after some clever play by Rubio, Felipe, and then finding Haji Berry, who cuts in and has a strike onto his right foot, but Felipe intervenes with that sliding challenge.
Here's Colton Storm to Saravia. Saravia gets it out to Rebion. And here's Openo just trying to clear it out of the zone, and and a big slide there by Brian Brown. He hits the deck, and you can just see in the snow the amount of snow he took up. And that was not a light fall at all by Brown. Boom, he takes a knee there, I believe, to the back of the leg, and the fall is
And Graham Smith just comes in. He knows that Brown's hitting that ball away from him, and he just takes out Brian Brown, gets the yellow card there. But now it looks like we'll see the introduction of Chase Minter, who of course played last season for Real Monarchs, who finished the regular season first place in Western Conference. He moves over to Swope Park Rangers.
So Chase Minter will enter the game momentarily as the officials get things sorted out. Officials sporting short sleeves. I could not bear that. Here's Luis Felipe. Free kick. Brent Richards works, trying to keep it inbounds. He does. 2-on-1. Richards inside.
And a great run to the near post by Danny Mazowski. He nearly gets a toe on it from Brent Richards' low cross, but it will be a Reno 1868 corner. We see that movement from Danny Mazowski. He's a player that can find that space around the box.
All right, fans, it's time to get loud. How about another Toro Law Reno 1868 FC?
And here's Kiffy on the kick-in. Now, and Zendejas goes up and retrieves it. He'll now throw it in. As we approach the 76th minute, score tied 2-2.
Nice little chip pass from Carlton Belmar to find Diego Rubio.
And Graham Smith, the yellow card. Here's Matt Lewis working to Juan Cuzane. Back to Colton Storm. Nice move there by Kiffy.
Well done from Danny Mazowski to win that ball and trigger this counter attack for Reno. Brown looks for his options and finds Openo on the right. They want to be wary of Openo. They know he can be a tricky player. Colton Storm deals with him really well after it looks like Openo skips past him. It'll be another corner kick for James Kiffy.
Kiffy shoots it out wide left.
Oh, it doesn't come together there for Reno though, but Luis Felipe keeps it, but well won by Diego Rubio, and now Felipe Hernandez has room to run. Swope Park Rangers with the counterattack. Oh, but elects to find Hadji Berry when Openo's covering that run.
And Marcinkowski will get it downfield momentarily to Tier Young, and before Saravia takes over. Another call.
It looks like we finally have that sub Chase Minter for Felipe Hernandez. Felipe Hernandez has done a good job in that midfield three, carrying the ball forward, picking out the right pass. Impressive stuff from the 19-year-old.
And here's Caballo. Caballo will get this started. But Colton Storm.
And I think the snow clearly affected that ball from Colton Storm. Sends it out of bounds.
Caballo. Back to, or excuse me, that's Tier Young. Back to Caballo. And Brent Richards will work on the right side along the snow and get it to Openo. Openo with a nice move, put on Storm, and Openo trying to take it to the house, but holds up for a second, gets it inside, and oh, what a good block there by Zendejas, getting airborne, showing off that vertical leap.
Yeah, I think everyone expects Brent Richards to put this ball across for someone to poke home, but he just smashes it, and Zendejas does really well to put it over the crossbar. Brent Richards, of course, who played as a striker in college and in PDL for the Portland Timbers under 23, got converted into a right back. He's a right back who likes to get up, got a few goals last season from there, even played up front towards the end of the season last year.
Here's a corner kick from Kiffy. Brown will let it go past him with Openo coming back, and he'll get a shot, but Zendejas right there.
Yeah, Openo just can't get the curl he wants to. trying to put that into Mazowski's path, but the ball just sails straight into Zendejas' arms. The snow is really affecting the way this game's played right now.
Certainly. And here's Belmar getting it inside to Barry, or tried to at least. Chase Winter gets in on the action before going out. And here's Barry. Barry working on Kiffy. Barry gets a shot, but not much behind it as quickly Marcinowski gets it out to Hopino.
Yeah, I think Chase Minter is a little frustrated with Haji Berry for not leaving that. Chase Minter's in front of goal, and if Haji Berry's a little more aware, he knows he can just leave that between his legs, and Minter can have a shot there, but Haji Berry tries to collect that ball and take on James Kiffy. I mean, he's had a lot of success today, so you can't blame him with that, though.
And here's Morel working to Kiffy, then again works to Caballo. And here's Kiffy working against Saravia before Rebion will inbound this one.
And we have our last sub of the day. It looks like Brian Brown will come out, and former Swope Park Rangers player Mark Gonzalez will come in. His debut for Reno 1868 against his whole club, his old club where he spent 2 years at. So Mark Gonzalez, the Canadian striker, has a bit of a point to prove against his old team. Starts early, committing the foul there on Juan Couzain.
Juan Couzain hits the deck, and Graham Smith looking for a call. He already has one yellow card, excuse me. And Matt Lewis gets it to Saravia, back to Lewis. Lewis trying to find an open window, and Morel comes over, knocking down Rubio.
Chase Minter he's going to want to loop this ball in. About 7 or 8 or so minutes left to play. Right now it's 2-2 between Reno 1868 and Swope Park Rangers. Two of the standout performers in the Western Conference last year. Of course, with Swope Park Rangers making it all the way to the national championship, where they eventually bowed out to Louisville City.
Matt Kearns alongside Colin Tabor here at Greater Nevada Field. And Tyryong trying to get possession, but unable to do so. Here's a shot, and Barry with an opportunity and a window, and he scores. And that's just over the head of Marcinkowski, and there's nothing Marcinkowski could have done there, as Haji Berry coming up with the score.
Haji Berry's been brilliant today. Look at this little delay. He's able to buy enough time to just bury that past JT Marcinkowski, but what a great touch to put it back onto his right foot and just blast it past the Reno 1868 goalkeeper to make it 3-2 in a thrilling game in the snow here at Greater Nevada Field for opening day of the 2018 season.
Marcinkowski not pleased with himself, having given up 3 goals, all 3 coming in this second half. We have an injury on the field.
Looks like Reno players and fans are a bit upset. They believe Diego Rubio is trying to waste a little bit of time here. They want him to get back onto the other half so they can get the play resuming, but Diego Rubio's down, takes his time getting up. A little altercation between him and Jordan Morel there.
A little bit of a flop. Caballo. Back to Hopino with Richards running alongside him to the right, and that'll be back in possession of the Rangers. You can see the grounds crew there waiting on the sideline Colton Storm as we approach the 85th minute. Again, the Rangers will retain possession. Colton Storm getting a ball. Looking for somewhere to go. Instead, he'll go, well, it'll go off the feet. And the 1868s will take over, and Young trying to get at that possession.
Yeah, it just misjudges the ball there a little bit. I mean, takes an awkward bounce in that snow. Young gets a foot on it. He's through there.
So one-on-one. And in no rush are the Rangers.
Yeah, they're going to want to be careful playing this short passing game in their own half, because it could easily take a weird spin off the snow, and Reno can counter, as we see here through Openo.
Openo taking his time, trying to find any angle he can do it. A nice move there put on Barry, trying to get it inside somewhere, but the Rangers will take over as the ball blasts all the way across the field to Morrell, and Morrell will get it to Kiffey. And another Ranger down. Appear to be making snow angels, but he's injured.
Yeah, they're going to want to run down the clock these final minutes. They know that their game doesn't work too well in the snow, and Reno can pounce and get something out of it. They're going to want to see out the clock. I mean, I could be speaking prematurely, and this could be serious here from Juan Cuzin. I can't quite tell who that is. Possibly Rebeon, but it looks.
Yeah, I think it's
It
Rebeon.
looks serious. It looks like actually it's a bit of a head problem.
And a trainer signaling to Rebeon.
Yeah, Rebeon looks a little out of sorts right now. They're having some concussion tests done on him, but this does not look good for Rebeon, the Colombian.
Again, in soccer, the clock does not stop for injury, so the clock will continue to run. There most likely will be additional time put on at the end. But certainly the 1868 want to resume this game as fast as possible and try to at least tie it up. So Rebeon does get up. You can see the injury there. Off his head. We're assuming that's... Oh.
That does not look good from Rebeon.
Yeah.
That does not look good. Hits him in the head all wrong. He might have misjudged it because of the snow. And of course, Swope Park Rangers are out of subs.
Yeah.
They're going to have to see this out with 10 men. I doubt he'll be cleared to come back in.
Yeah, just a bad angle, and could have just jammed, you know, his head into the ball.
Oh, but Rebeon runs back in. Interesting, because the way he fell, that looked like signs of a concussion, but I trust the medical professional that was down there looking at him rather than me up here. It seems like Rebeon's cleared to play.
Yep. Well, it certainly took off several minutes from the clock. We're at 88-20. With the Rangers leading the 1868 3-2. All three of those goals coming in the second half of this game. Here's Brent Richards.
Great feet there from Richards, and he wins it back.
Kicks it inside to Mazowski. Oh, and with the...
And the equalizing goal for Reno 1868.
Wow.
Brent Richards with some great work to find Openo. Openo puts the ball across, and I'm not sure if it took a touch off Mazowski, if it took a touch off Mark Gonzalez, or no, it looks like it took a touch off Matt Lewis, the Swope Park Rangers center back. It's to be an own goal. Openo with that ball, and
you can
Lewis
see Matt Smith holding his head. Wow.
Yeah, Matt Lewis just hits off his heel in the back of his own net after really a great game by Swope Park Rangers.
You could see Wondolowski with a big smile towards Lewis as that ball went in past the net. So 3-3, the 1868 get an improbable goal to tie it up at the 89th minute. And new life is brought into the 1868 with that goal. Again, we'll most likely have additional time put on as we approach the 90th minute mark here in some 5 seconds.
Yeah, a lot of goals in this second half. A couple injuries. I wouldn't be surprised to see 4 or 5 minutes, really. So there's still plenty of time to play and for either team to grab a winner in these crazy conditions.
Yeah, certainly. Snow on opening day. Here's Hopino to Mazovsky. 4 minutes will be put on.
This has been a thrilling 90 minutes, and fans will be hoping it'll be a thrilling 4 minutes more. Yeah. Reno will want to push for that winning goal.
Here's Brent Richards, who's been active, especially in the second half. Feeds it to Mazovsky. Mazovsky trying to set up.
Brenton Griffiths brings down Diego Rubio there. Allows Swope Park Rangers to push some players forward, get their lines up, maybe slow down play a little bit.
Colton Storm will try to start the revival here in the extra minutes. And in a tie ball game like this with so few minutes left in the game, what's the strategy by both coaches? What are you trying to get done here?
Well, neither team want to make a mistake in this snow. As I say, that Hadji Berry slips through once again. Stands up JT Marcinowski and finds Carlton Belmar to make it 4-3. Really, what a thrilling game here at Greater Nevada Field in a blizzard. Swope Park Rangers with the stoppage time has to be the winner. Hadji Berry, who's been brilliant. His 3rd assist of the night. Finds Carlton Belmar, and Belmar pokes home. Wow.
You talked about not wanting to make a mistake there, and certainly for the 1868, a costly one.
Yeah, and JT Marcinowski isn't quite sure how to deal with Hadji Berry. Second time now, he's caught flat-footed, doesn't sure whether to retreat to his goal, whether to pounce on Hadji Berry there, and just gets caught in no man's land. Gives Hadji Berry that space to put that ball across. He'll be disappointed looking back on that.
And here the 1868 trying to come up with the equalizer to get it to 4-4 and call it a day. Brent Richards comes up, and we have a call.
And Brent Richards isn't happy with that. Goes in the back of Diego Rubio there, and Diego Rubio will be able to slow play way down. They're going to take their time taking this free kick. See out these remaining seconds. Oh, but great play there from Mark Anthony Gonzalez to find Opino. A bit of a dangerous challenge into the back of him, but ref waves play on.
Zendejas will sit on this one for as long as possible. Just trying to get every tick off the clock. We had 4 minutes left, and we're probably approaching that 4-minute mark. Nice save there by Marcinowski. Good effort. And
they judge it out. The ball went out of play, and it'll be a corner kick for Swope Park Rangers, who will take their time taking this one in front of the Battleborn Brigade, who, despite the snowy weather, are still out in force cheering on their team this 2018 season.
As as we get underway here. The first game of the season for both teams as Barry gets it into play, and certainly no panic for Chase Minter, knocks it out of bounds off of Openo.
Yeah, and for this opening game, things haven't gone to plan for Ian Russell. I mean, some things are out of their control with the snow, but Swope Park Rangers are playing in the same weather.
I mean, you figure you score 3 goals, typically you expect a W, right, more or less?
Yeah, but crazy 7-goal thriller here at Greater Nevada Field. And there's still some time for more. Oh, excuse me. Ref blows the final whistle, and it ends here. Reno 1868 3, Swope Park Rangers 4. Swope Park Rangers grab a vital win here to start the season and start their Western Conference defense against a team that only had 2 losses at home all last year. Really a great game from Swope Park Rangers. They kept the ball well, and Haji Berry was brilliant with a goal and 3 assists. Man of the match for me, without a doubt.
The Swope Park Rangers were swept a year ago by the Reno 1868 FC, and so they get a little bit of revenge in the opening game of the 2018 season. We appreciate you tuning in today and checking us out.
Yeah, for Swope Park Rangers, they're going to want to build on this success as the season goes on. This is a big win for them when really they're looking for that elusive national championship. 2 times the bridesmaid for them. 2 times losing out to Eastern Conference teams in the national championship. They start their season very strong again with a big win against a very dangerous Reno 1868 team. Of course, Reno 1868, we spoke about the loss of Dane Kelly, but Reno showed that they can still score goals without him.
All right, well, we will send it back to break before we share our final thoughts on the game. Back here at Greater Nevada Field, final score 4-3. The Swope Park Rangers get the victory and head to 1-0 on the season, as the Reno 1868 FC will take the loss, falling to 0-1. It was a good game, good thrilling game. Great way to start the season for the Swope Park Rangers, but for the Reno 1868 FC, a tough loss, and they have a short turnaround. The next game coming the 31st of this month against Phoenix. But a tough loss like this, what do you tell your team if you're Coach Russell?
Yeah, I mean, tough loss for Reno 1868. In these conditions, it was always going to be difficult for both teams. I think Ian Russell will want to remind his team, look, last year you guys started slow too, and you just have to build that momentum. You got to find that chemistry between a lot of new guys. I mean, it is a different team from last year, but Reno will want to respond next week. They go down to Las Vegas to play the new USL team down there, new rivalry with the Las Vegas Lights. Las Vegas, of course, will be wanting to gain something in their inaugural season against their state rivals. That will be a really interesting game to tune into next Saturday.
Well, we thank you all for tuning in and hope you have a fine evening wherever you may be. Great game of soccer played today. We'd like to thank everyone on the staff, on the crew who made this broadcast possible. And have a great night. Matt Kearns, Colin Tabor, signing out.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.